are a Dutch non-profit foundation founded in 2015. We operate worldwide. Our mission is to provide nature conservation organizations with best-in-class solutions and interdisciplinary workspaces to transform data into actionable information. So that is also what you will see during this webinar, how you can really turn data from the field into actionable information. And by that, we would like to turn wild spaces into safe havens. We offer a number of services. Today, we will focus on our data collection part. We also have the Cluey data collection app. We will not really talk about that too much, but we're talking about camera trap data as a way of collecting data. And then we'll show the situational awareness and the analytical maps and reports that you can run onto that. We offer other services as well, and other webinars will also talk about that in the future. We would like to start with a brief question to you before we start the demo. If you could please scan this QR code or go on a different browser to slido.com and then go to the room number 2509348 and answer this question in 1 or 2 words. We will be building a word cloud on what typical issues do you run into when processing camera trap images? So welcome to the people who just joined. We have already almost 40 participants. If you just joined, feel free to also participate in this quick question by scanning the QR code or go to slido.com and then the hashtag number 2509348 and answer the question, what typical issues do you run into when processing camera traps images? And an issue that is already coming out is volume. Of course, with camera traps, you always have the possibility that many pictures are taken so that you have many images. So the volume can definitely be challenging. Data management, data issues are mentioned, tropical species identification, time. Okay, be interesting to hear a little bit what the time issue is. Maybe it's the time issue between the picture being taken and then the moment you can do something with it. Well, today we will see that you can upload images. You can upload images from any time. But maybe it's nice to also mention that we're also actually have a live cam trap working now in Romania, where the images are automatically fed into the platform. So the moment the picture is taken, seconds later, you'll have it in the platform. Misidentification, that is also something that is mentioned. What else? Long, lost dark, blank images, usable presence, different cam traps used, individual identification for capture, recapture analysis, data storage is an issue, too many of them, too many issues, date issues, platform issues, volume of pictures without animals, tropical species identification. Wow, a lot. I don't know if there's still people typing, but also for time's sake, and I'm sure you're eager to see the first demonstration. The first demonstration is going to be by Eugene from Animal Detect. I don't know, Eugene, if you would like to first maybe reflect a little bit on the issues that you see mentioned here. Do you recognize some of these? People are still typing, so I think it's nice, Eugene, to hear a little bit from you also maybe on these issues. And then from there, we'll move into your demo.
Yeah, hey everyone. The issues are quite familiar, so I think the demo will be on point, addressing most of the things people mentioned. So cool. I would go into it without further ado.
Yep. So I will.
All right.
Yep.
Hey, people. My name is Eugene. I am CEO and co-founder of a Danish technical company called Animal Detect. We work with wildlife teams and practitioners to help process camera trap images, especially if there's many of them. So today I'm invited here to show how it works, and I will show a live demonstration of it. And especially I will show how to connect the two systems, Sensing Clues and Animal Detect together. But before I do that, I have to give credits where credits are due and say thanks to the team that collected the data set that I'll be showing in this demonstration. This was collected as part of national survey of 2022 in Uganda, in the national parks, and collected by Ugandan government and Solaris team. So thanks to them, and go read their papers. They're interesting. So now I will try to hijack the screen. Yes. Looks good to me. Can you see Animal Detect front page? Yes. Good. Okay, so what can you do here? How do you do it, and why? Let's answer those questions. On Animal Detect, you can work with camera trap images directly online on the platform. You can process all your SD cards and folders with images, and you can let AI run on it to detect blanks and labels, and you can also verify the work and correct it. A little bit off topic, we have API. If you know what that means, go to our homepage, documentation, read all about it. There's Playground, you can test all of it. But those who do not, API is just a programmatic way how you connect your system to our system. So if you have a technical employee in your organization, you have some dashboard, this is for you. But back to the platform. The first step would be to connect the two systems together. And you do that by going into Settings, Integrations. Here you see Sensing Clues badge. We press Connect Account. It asks for your username and password. Those you get by signing up on Sensing Clues. And your username will be in the top right corner here. For me, it's Eugene Galaxy. I copy it, I put it here, I type my password. I'll not tell you what that is. The integration is connected. The two systems now communicate together. So now let's look what can you do on Animal Detect. You can create projects. A project is a location or an effort that your team works on. The project will have a specific location. You can create deployments there. Deployment is a camera trap attached to a GPS point. And in those deployments, you can put uploads. This is where you put images. I have prepared one for you here, so we avoid waiting time. So let's look at what can you do here. You have went for uploading the images. Our AI has processed them. You are landing on this screen. On the left side, you see all the images with relevant objects, animals, humans, vehicles. On the right side, you see all the blanks. That's what people mentioned in the previous slide, in the Slido survey about blank images. Sometimes the data set can have 95% of blank images, and they will all appear here. So if you open one of them, you will see that it's indeed empty. In cases when AI is not perfect, because, well, we all know sometimes it's just stupid and doesn't see something, like in this example here, we can click on the image and draw a box around it. That's it. This will label it as a detection, and it will move back to the good pile, to the relevant ones. You have multiple options here to work with labels, to inspect images, to resize them, to delete them. Up to you. The regular workflow is AI does 98% of the job. You just take care of the remaining 2%. When you're ready, we move on to the next page. And here is where the magic happens. We see the specific detections. We see the labels on top of them. We see timestamps. We see, for example, a baboon taking selfie. Here, the purpose here depends on your task. If you want good species labels for your further work, you can do the relabeling here. For example, we have olive baboons in Uganda, but on some of the images, they are hiding behind objects, as we can see on this image. No. Yes, that's the image here. Sorry. In the top left corner, you can see that baboon is hiding behind another camera trap. We can right-click on it, and we can write olive baboon Here's our label. Now it's relabeled. Maybe we don't want to work with humans. Sometimes we don't. We can select all of these images and delete them here. They will disappear from your data set. And lastly, you can inspect images for what it is. So in this case, yeah, it's an artifact on an image. It's not a real animal. So we might as well just go and delete this image again. This process is made to be comfortable working with tens of thousands of images. You can select all, you can relabel all in one click. It should be fast. You can also use filters. You can sort by similarity. Similar animals will be grouped up together. You can sort by time. In the time, you can sort by day and night. You can define what is day for you, what is night for you, date range, time of the day. And you can also sort by specific labels. So for example, you want to finish labeling. You can select all of the incomplete ones, like this baboon species, select them and say, okay, this is olive baboon. When this work is done, we move to the last page, which is called results. And here, essentially, you have, let me zoom in, 3 options. Option 1, you can download your sorted images. They will come in folders categorized by those species. The second option, you can download annotations. They come in CSV, Excel, and other technical formats. This is your giant table with all the metadata information. The third option is the new one, the interesting one, sensing clues integration. This is where we can upload our detections as observations to sensing clues. And for that, you need to specify a group. A group is something you create on sensing clues. Jan will further explain how it works and what do you do. For our case, you just need to have a group here. We have it, good. We select on here. We select which species we want to upload, and then we press upload. A little bit of time will pass, and you will have the uploads on the Sensing Clues platform. And from there, Jan Kees will tell you what can you do about it. But for now, this is it from Animal Detect. This is now a good time to go into questions and answers. And if you have any feedback, suggestions, or criticism, feel free to shoot it. We always try to hear you, and we always try to adapt. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Eugene. That was a very nice, clear demonstration. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Raise your hand. Eduardo, yes, you were the first one raising your hand. Please, go ahead. Hi,
Thanks,
nice to see you.
Hi, it's nice to see you too. Nice to see you all. I'm Eduardo Rudas. I'm located in Colombia, but I'm working for Green Levers, an organization from the UK, a non-for-profit organization. And we are looking forward to fund reserves, natural reserves for the care of the landscape, not only for the carbon. So we will let you know later. But well, I have a couple of questions. One is, it is possible to fine-tune your AI model so it can detect things that commonly are not detected. For instance, I worked in the past with a set of images in which we had several mice passing by the image, but it was just only the eyes that we can detect that moving on the pictures. So it is difficult to detect, but it was actually a mice when I zoom it in. So these kind of detections that are difficult for a machine, but do you have some learning option?
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you, Eduardo. Eugene.
Yeah,
it's a $1 million question, and I love it because I have a really good answer for it. Yeah, so normally this is not available anywhere. You just need to commit and retrain the model, but we just upgraded our server and we're about to release something called embedding model. This is what our CTO is writing his PhD about and what it will work without the technical jargon. Whenever any user will be correcting a label on an image, for example, here, I don't know, I want to find II, and it doesn't exist in any of the AI species. And whenever you will relabel this, our AI model will know this and will be helped to recognize this better in the next detections. So as you mentioned, if you have some specific species of mice that never recognized by any AI, As soon as you start correcting it, it will improve the model, and further uploads will start to recognize it. So this is the not frozen in time AI model, but something that updates basically daily. And we're very excited to start releasing it. So that might answer your question.
Well, thanks. May I ask another question?
I don't see other hands raised, so please go ahead. Dustin
Okay.
had the same question, by the way, but
Yeah,
so,
good.
go
So
ahead, Eduardo.
my other question, well, I have several questions actually, but the other question is, I found that sometimes it's easier to detect presence of small things like that if you analyze a series of images. For instance, the camera truck I worked with, it shoot like several images one after another. So sometimes you see something moving in a pattern that is just an animal pattern, not a branch moving or some things like that. Is your model using this kind of techniques to discern images, or it is just working with still frame to detect?
Currently, it's only the single frame. We do not have the burst series support, but I know what you mean. It's actually very useful.
Good. Thanks. And well, there is a couple of technical questions as well in terms of what are the API limits, and the other is, are you using EXIF metadata from the images, and the other is your system preserving the compression? I mean, it is recompressing in a certain way, or is just preserving the quality of the images as it is? Three questions.
Yes, no. Okay, so the credits are tied. So the API shares the same credit system as this image. We basically monitor how many images you have uploaded. And it's different on different plans, and you can get an extra one. But yes, it's credit system. For the EXIF, yes, we are automatically scrapping all the EXIF metadata. This is how you get this yellow timestamps for time on the images. This is baked into the file. And you will also have it in the annotations when you download the Excel results. Yeah. And the third question was about, sorry.
About image recompression, like preserving quality.
No, the images you input, that's the same ones you download, or the same ones stored on the storage. We only create thumbnails and these croppings, but they are only for display.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Eduardo, and thank you very much, Eugene. We have several questions coming in the chat, so if it's okay for everybody, I would like to...
Sure.
Jana Lopez says, thank you for the presentation. Is there a tool to pre-process the MOV files and then feed the frames to Animal Detect? What would be the approach in practice? Should we break the MOV files into frames using a third-party tool? And Nuno Negros asks, does the software work with videos? So maybe, Eugene, you can enlighten us a little bit on how to process MOV files, videos, approaching practice.
I'm looking for the video as we speak,
okay,
just to show an example. So when you upload the video, MP4 or MUV, you will have an option to slice them into frames. And let me maybe show example when you have multiple videos, because that's a bit. So I'm selecting how many? 7 videos here. And I select how often do I want to take an image, let's say 2 per second, and I can extract. So no need for external tools, you will do it here. And you can do it together mixed with regular images. So now you have 126 images. You can also upload just the regular images on top. They will come up here. Yeah. So that's how video slicing works.
Okay, great. I hope that answered the question. Let's see, there's another question from Leah Ortegon. Can the AI identify individuals such as spotted felines by their natural markings?
Re-identification. No, currently we do not have it. What we have for this year is integration with a system called Wildbook. They have 19 different species re-identification systems. So the process will be similar. You upload data and then it's re-identified there. But it's a bit different beast no pun intended, than what we're doing here.
Okay, thank you. And I think actually Shabazz Khan had maybe a similar question. Does animal detect helps in identifying individual identification using body or natural marking on animals for capture, recapture analysis?
It's essentially the same answer.
Yep.
That we currently do not support re-identification.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Are there any other questions before we move on to the second part of the demo? Of course, you can also ask questions later. We have another half hour, 35 minutes. So there's ample time to ask questions. If there are no immediate questions right now, then I suggest we move on to the second part. Actually, there is... Eduardo. Yes, let's do one more question before we go to Jan Kees for the second part of the demonstration.
We should have a chat after.
You're
mic is
muted, Eduardo.
Sorry. Sorry. Well, given there is time, I'm going to ask a little bit some more questions.
One more question.
Yeah, one
For
more
now.
question. Okay, good. It will be possible, like, if you have a way to upload the images in real time. If you figure out how to do that, it would be possible to upload the images using the API, and then after having certain number of images, you can just process them, or keep processing like images by images in a group, or things like that.
I see what you mean. So you currently, the API is independent. So you use it in your system. You send an image, it returns an answer, or you send an image, it returns text on the image, but you cannot currently upload to the platform through the API. That's actually a really good suggestion, I think. We should support that.
Yeah, that's something that I'm imagining. Like you have, this system kind of block images. So
yeah, like SenseInclude has, where you have a project or a group and you can select upload observations to it.
Directly, just without passing through the UI.
I'm writing it down, sir.
Good.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Eduardo. Yeah, let's move on to the second part of the demonstration. So now Eugene ended with uploading, how many images was it, Eugene? 35, something like that, to the SenseInclude platform. We're now handing over to Jan Kees Schakel, the founder of SenseInclude, who is going to lead you through what you can see on the SenseInclude site and what you can do with it. Jan Kees, over to you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining. I will indeed address two elements that were also in the word cloud with problems that people have when working with massive amounts of data that then also often stem from many different sources. So that's about how do you manage that information? And the second is how do I use it and how can I combine it for my analytics and my reporting? To start with information management, we work with groups. It was already mentioned by Eugene, but a group is actually very much similar what you are experiencing with, for example, WhatsApp. You organize a number of people within one group to discuss a certain topic. So you are in a different group with your friends than with your family, and you are discussing different topics in those groups. Similarly here, so if you have a ranger group or a group of biologists or a group of volunteers or citizen scientists working on something, then you can organize them in a group. You can also organize a group for a census if you are conducting a census in 2026 around the bear, or you do a census in Colombia to get a kind of baseline survey. Then you can create a group called baseline survey and use it as a data source. So sometimes a group is the same as a data source. Sometimes many data sources might be within one group. But anyway, it's a topic, a number of people organized around that topic in a group. You can simply create a group here and then invite people in that group, because that's the other element, of course. You've got topics that you want to discuss, information that is collected within one source, and then people have access to it or can contribute to it. So people that contribute to collecting the data, or people that you want to include in analyzing and reviewing the ChemTrap data and the quality of the ChemTrap data need to be invited into that group so that they can edit the data and also improve the quality. You can do more within this information management place. This one I know from one person here present who's interested in using the CLUI data collector application for collecting, let's say, recordings from the field by yourself, not by a camera, but by a human. Then you can use an app called CLUI or CyberTracker or any other app. And that's also organized here. So the topics are in these observation types, the topics you would like to record. You can also record tracking types and other things. Information management then, of course, is about data sources. So the obvious one discussed today is animal detect for your ChemTrap footage. You can create CLUI groups for your rangers or people in the field recording animal sightings, human wildlife conflicts, points of interest, human activities, illegal activities, and so on. You can have spreadsheets, maybe from student projects or from old projects or as an export from a system that you use to work with. All those can be imported into the platform. ODK survey is another more qualitative way of analyzing data, collecting data about, for example, household surveys. You've got map layers and third-party systems that are too many to mention. The important thing here is that when you import the data into the SensorClues platform, is that the data is semantically harmonized. And I will not discuss at length what that means, but the result is that you can analyze the data as if it is just one resource. So you don't have to worry that Eugene called something an elephant, and in another language, elephant is spelled differently, has a different name, or might have a nickname, and so on. So different spellings, different synonyms can be harmonized semantically and then translated into the database so that you can later query it with ease. Of course, you can also, in the information management part, organize your cameras. Where are they located? What is their state? Did they have maintenance, or when they were out of position because they were pushed by an animal? You can record that and maybe learn from it and take measures to avoid that in the future, so that you have a good record of where your cameras were, especially later if you, after 1 or 2 years, people ask questions like, I want to know more about the deployment, then here you can find back every detail that you recorded about your cameras. Garbage in is garbage out. So although the AI is very good, sometimes it makes mistakes. The same is true for people and spreadsheets. Sometimes you have a spreadsheet and it says white rhino, and then the next row it says W rhino, and the third row it says WR, and it all means rhino, the white rhino to be specific. So if you want to improve the quality of your data, it's good to look at every record, if you've got the time, of course, and then correct the data that's obviously wrong, or add details that you can see. So if you see a baboon in the images of Eugene, of animal detect, and you can see that this animal is actually very healthy, then you can add information that it's healthy or that he's limping or some other problems that you might see. So the richer your data is, the more you can do with it in your analysis. So that's where we go next. The analytical toolbox is made for creating many different types of reports and maps that help you to improve your operations, to report to your donors and to other stakeholders what happens, and also to measure the impact of all the things that you are doing to improve the system. So I'm going to show you just 1 or 2 slides, screen prints. This is the Focus 360 application. It's called 360 because you've got 360 degrees overview and insight to all your different data sources. Doesn't matter where they come from. Could be spreadsheet, could be animal detect, could be CLUI, could be multiple CLUI groups, etc. This is where you see it. The data sources, in this case, is only 1. And you can see that only a gene contributed to that data set. You can see on the map layers automatically generated which categories of information have been recorded. So that's 16 leopards. There are old monkey baboons, warthogs, and wild boars. On the right-hand side, you see all the results, and on the map, you can see where they have been spotted. They are all on top of each other. So there's a number 40 over there, which means it's a chemtag, quite logical. You can click on the photo to see the animal. You can click on the record to get all the details of that particular record. And if you click on the print icon in the top of that line, then you get a single sighting report that gives you all the details about that particular sighting. Where it is, satellite and map. Often the map is not very helpful if you're in the middle of the Amazon, so then a satellite image is better. In the other way around, if you are in the city, then roads are very nice to have, so we include both. We include the images that were recorded there as well, and then other things that are recorded. Of course, you want to use all the data together. So you want to know what's the trend in 2025, or how many activities did I do in the first quarter of 26. So you log in this case, to an observation report. You select the period you would like to report about. So in this case, 2020 till today. You select the data sources that you would like to include. Could be, again, a spreadsheet. It could be Eugene's Animal Detect. It could be Cluey and so on. Select the topics from which all the topics that are available within these data sources and hit the Get Observations button. And then you get this graph. In this case, it's a graph about how many animals you saw of each species. You can also organize it by agent, so who did the recording or camera, by month. If you've got map layers, you can also organize it per area, or you can download the data raw so that you can conduct your analysis in any other platform of your choice. Of course, you can use the same data also to create maps or to create activity patterns. So if you have, especially with ChemTrap data, if you have proper timestamps, then you can see in this case that the hippo is usually spotted early in the morning, while the warthog is often seen in the middle of the day. Don't ask me why, but that's this little data set. It's what happens. If your data sets becomes larger, those statistics become more informative and can be used also, for example, here already to see what is my top 10 of sightings in my area. So far, demonstration of organizing your data in a SenseInclude platform and a few analytics that you can conduct.
Great. Thank you very much, Jan Kees. A few questions have been coming in the chat, and some were directly directed to Eugene, which already answered these questions. They had to do with whether the AI also supports bird species, and it does. And there was also a question on the improvement of the AI model with corrected images. And then there is another question from Leah, and I was just wondering if it's for Eugene or Jan Kees. Is the labeling of species limited or determined by the geographical distribution of the camera trap, or can it suggest species from all over the world? I'm not sure who would be in the best position to answer that question, or I can ask Leah to maybe elaborate a little bit about the question.
I think Eugene can answer that question. Eugene, please go ahead and mute.
Oh, I have answered in chat.
Yeah, so Eugene answered, when you upload images on the platform, the detections are from the country where you created the deployments. In API, there is an option to detect globally without country. Okay, that's interesting, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the SenseInclude platform, in order for data to enter into the SenseInclude platform, it has to has a lot long indication, right? So you otherwise it cannot go into the SenseInclude platform. So there needs to be a geographic location in order for the data to be transferred to the SenseInclude platform.
Correctly.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Victoria Lasaga asks, is the metadata stored in each image or on the platform?
It's stored on the platform, and some metadata is stored within an image, but that's just by the camera already. That's in the EXIF of a camera. Depends on the specifications of the camera. But the information that you like to record about the camera, the type, the make, when it was damaged, or when the batteries were replaced, and so on, that's all data that's recorded in the platform.
All right. Thank you. Alexander Arevalo asks, is it for free or to pay?
Both.
Good question.
So both Animal Detect and SenseClues have free options, but of course they are limited because otherwise we would go bankrupt like everyone else. So after a certain period or a certain volume, there are some fees to be paid. They are both cost recovery fees, so they are not really commercial, but of course they have to cover the cost.
Yep. Thank you, Jan Kees. Dustin has a question for Eugene. Is there an option for an accuracy assessment of the model?
I am not sure how to answer this. No, not directly on the platform. Perhaps you would look at the models used and see their benchmarkings, how accurate they are, but not directly on the platform.
Okay.
The algorithms that are being used, the classifiers that Animal Detect is using, are included in the metadata that is stored with the results in the SenseClues platform. So you can always see these images were classified and processed by these and these classifiers, so that if there are studies about their accuracy and so on, that you can find out.
Yes, to add on top, we submit full deployment data or metadata to the SenseClues when you upload data, so we preserve the full audit trail. If you further need to create sustainability reports and show it to the audit organizations, you can see the trail from Animal Detect all the way to SenseClues. Which models were used, which files were uploaded, what's the originals, where are they located, what's the name of the project.
Yeah, great. And then there was a question from Eduardo, will the webinar video be sent? And Rebecca already answered it. Tomorrow you will get an email with the recording, the slides, and a summary. So you can look forward to that. And Eduardo raised his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that question about metadata makes me think, is there an option to record the labeling and other metadata into the EXIF image after, like before downloading, so the image have all the labeling and everything by itself in terms of, have you considered that?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. What do you mean? Can you elaborate, please?
Oh yeah, I mean, you have the EXIF metadata on the image, and there is actually optional fields you can use to record data. So your image is labeled. I mean, it's classified. It has labels, and for instance, have baboon or whatever it is. So you have the metadata on the platform, but it is possible to record that metadata also on the EXIF fields of the image.
To add EXIF data inside the platform on the images, respectively.
No, well, what I mean is record on the EXIF metadata the processing result. So if
the
for some
reversed way.
reason, yeah, the reverse. So if for some reason, I don't know, you have the image without having it linked into the platform, the image alone by itself have its metadata embedded on it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It is technically, it should be feasible, but the usability is low because I don't think there's a lot of people who even know what's EXIF. So it might serve one edge use case, but generally it's hard to explain to people where to find it. You have to open the file, right click, go to properties, go to, So
Okay,
that's why the preferred way is reverse, where you scan the files, what you can find under the hood, and then you display it in Excel tables and on the platform. So
okay.
All right, thank you, Eduardo. Alexander Arevalo asks, do you have an example of CSV showing the information generated in the platform? Jan Kees showed the possibility to upload CSV files, and Jan Kees already responded, said, yes, we can. If you share your email here, we will send it. So yeah, if you have specific information, or if you would like to try out the platform yourself, please get in touch with us. We can look at that individually. Typically, well, we try to be very cautious with data. So what we showed now is basically data where, as Eugene said, the credits were given to this Uganda organization. So in general, we cannot sort of demonstrate live data from our field partners, because as field partners, and as you have data in the platform, you own that data. It's stored on European servers. It falls under European privacy laws. So you really do not have to worry that your data gets into the wrong hands. But then at the same time, in a webinar like this, it's very difficult to show real life examples, because that's sort of contradicting that. So feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to. Thank you, Alexander, for sharing your email. So we will get in touch with you and see if you have a file. We can see and show how that looks in the platform. But basically, it looks similar to some of the visuals that Jan Kees showed. It will come in as a source. So in this case, there was only one source. That was the feed from Eugene. The CSV file will be a separate source, and then you can see it in the map in the same way as all of the other data. Eugene shares an example of annotations from the animal detect demo. Okay, Eugene, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I have put a WeTransfer link, which basically allows you to download a zip archive. That's the easiest way to share in the chat how the CSV files from animal detect side look.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there you will have a zip archive containing the CSV in Excel, so you can inspect it from the dataset shown on the demo.
All right, cool. Thank you. Awesome. All right, let's see. Are there any other questions? Or any other feedback? Let's see. I see a few familiar faces. Ravi, welcome. What are your thoughts about this? Anything interesting you saw? Oh, you're muted. We cannot hear you. Can you try to unmute? Let's see. No, we cannot hear you, I'm afraid. Any other questions or any other people who would like to ask a question? Yes, now I think we can hear you, Ravi.
Okay, sorry, I just got off my flight here and jumped in, but I know my able-bodied people, at least one of them I heard ask a question. So Dustin knows what he's doing, and I'm sure he's going to have the whole thing lined up for me and brief me on it.
Cool.
So I had no option. If you had the meeting yesterday, I would have been through it. If you had it tomorrow, but it had to be on the day of my flight.
Well, great to see you. Thank you for joining.
And good to see all the familiar faces too. So very good. Melanie, Rebecca, and Jankies.
Yep. Yeah, we're all here. Thank you. We also have Jeff on the call, and Jeff raised his hand. Jeff, welcome.
Yeah, hi, Eugene and Jan Kees. This integration seems like it makes both animal detect and sensing clues a little bit stronger individually, but the integration makes you sort of stronger together. And I just wondered what's been your discussions or what you've been thinking about any future level of integration or partnership or joint trainings or bundled services, or like where is this going? Is there a growth trajectory about how the two things fit together, or it's just nice that they play well together and that's good enough?
It's a great question, Jeff. And I actually don't want to ask the question to Jan Kees and Eugene, but maybe to the audience. What would you need to get working? Would you need some kind of training? Would you need a further integration? If you want to get started, what would you need? Let's see. Anyone
in the chat?
You can also put it in the chat what you would need. Training for sure, says Nuno. Okay, so we can do online training, but we can also do on-site training depending on your needs. We offer both ways. And then maybe Nuno, training specifically, could you elaborate a little bit on what you would need training on? Yitma also says training and the ability to work offline. Okay, that's also an interesting one. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit on that? Yitma, maybe if you can, maybe open your microphone and elaborate a little bit on the offline thing you would need.
Okay, hi. I am Yitma from Nigeria. I think some couple of times we had a meeting with Eugene, and I was introduced to the animal detect. But then when I said ability to work offline, I think I get to see that you can use to upload the images from the camera traps while it has to be connected to the internet. And one of the challenges we do have here, especially when one is in the field, is accessibility to network and internet connectivity. So I'm just wondering if there's a way one can get to upload camera trap images and it works with animal detect without necessarily being online always.
Great question.
It's a great question. I don't have a good answer. At the moment, we do not support offline processing. We're just simply out of hands to, for now, maintain both systems. But for people who do need that, like in your situation, we always invite people to try ADX. It's maintained by our friend Peter. He's also from Netherlands. And it's a great system. It works offline. It's open source. It's free. And they also support some custom models we do not support. So please give it a try. Peter is a great guy. He will also help and answer emails if you contact him.
Great. Thank you. Alexander is also elaborating a little bit on the training. Training with real own data. Typically when we do a training, the training will be customized and configured for your organization, for your data. So also in preparation for the training, we will set up it very much based on your data and using your data. So I don't know if that answers your question. Rebecca put the link to ADX AI in the chat. So you can also find that on our website, the link, but you have the direct link here. That is software that runs on a laptop. You just need internet connection to download and install the software. But after that, you can basically process your images. If you get the SD card with the images from the camera, put it in your laptop, then you should be able, without internet connection, to process these with ADX AI. Let's see.
Just to add a little bit.
Yep.
So the training question, is a question which is a bit broad. There's many things that can be trained. It's about all the data collection processes. It's about how to use animal detect in combination with sense includes. But of course, there might also be questions about how to maybe create or get a classifier that analyzes and is good at classifying the bird species or the other species that you are interested in, which are not yet catered for in any other tool. So what Eugene already said, AlexAI is a friend of us. We also work with him, with Peter, and some other people that are able to create custom classifiers if that would need be. So once you are in contact with us, we are always starting with what are your exact needs, and then with the 3 or 4 or many of us, we will always find a solution that works for you. That's also coming back to Jeffrey's question. How do you see the future? We believe strongly in open systems that can connect with any partner that is in the same mission. So AlexAI and Animal Detect and other systems can all be used, and we will connect, and we do connect with the systems that are preferred by the people in the field. Sometimes it's not always one suit fits all. So there might be reasons why you prefer a certain system above another one. And then as long as everyone adheres to the same standards, it's quite easy to interconnect the systems. The integration between Animal Detect and Sense Includes took 1 or 2 days of work. Quite easy to do, and it works for everyone. The same can be done with other suppliers. Of course, if we can help each other, we will, and we do. So that together we are stronger than the singles of us.
All right. Thank you, Jan Kees. We have a couple of minutes remaining. Eduardo, maybe one more question from your side?
No, but yeah, this is more like if I can just post the link of the Landscape Care Initiative website so people can start taking a look on what we are doing. We are still not providing funding, but we are like working hard to do so. But in the meantime, you can take a look. But the whole idea is we want to provide funding to reserves to cover the operating cost based on the care you are providing to the reserve, not based on like carbon. We are going to measure, obviously, to report, but the whole idea is very different from what we have now with carbon markets today, like traditional funding. So I want to ask you guys if I can just put the link on the chat so people can take a look.
You can put the link because you are going to use Animal Detect and Sense Includes. So
of course, yeah,
powered by Animal Detect and Sense Includes. So feel free to.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm really
there.
looking forward to work with you guys and with Eugene because the platform looks awesome.
Great.
It's a very
Thank you.
Good.
For the other people, if you want to get started, this is also in the pack that you will receive, just as sort of a summary. So create your Sense Includes account for free at central.senseincludes.org. Register, create a group because your data needs to get into a group. Then create your Animal Detect account at Animal Detect. Upload and classify your images through the dashboard. Activate your Sense Includes integration, and then you can conduct your analysis and create reports with the Sense Includes Analytical Toolbox. Of course, if you would like us to help you, feel free to reach out, because sometimes it's just easier and better to do that together. Some indicative prices. So as we mentioned, you can start for free, but then as the volume or as your service requirements increase, then you start paying. The Sense Includes software, so the Cluey app, Focus, Analytical Toolbox are free to use, and we offer professional support from 120 euros a month in a sort of subscription form. With that, I have one question for everybody, and that is, what is your takeaway from this session? So we would appreciate very much if you can share your main takeaway from this session. You will get tomorrow an email with the video recording, with the slides, with a summary. So feel free to also share that within your network. And if anyone is interested to talk further, then feel free to reach out to us, either to Animal Detect through the contact information, or to Sensing Clues, or both of us. And we would love to collaborate and help you. So if you could please give us a little bit of feedback. What is your takeaway from this session? We organize these webinars frequently. So please also look out on our website on the events page for upcoming events. We have one coming up soon. I think it's is it 2 months from now, Rebecca? I didn't recall exactly when the next one is.
Yeah, we haven't announced it yet, but it will be in June, about the credit market. Actually, let me check.
And if you have any...
25th of June.
25th of June. Okay, great. Thank you. And people can also find that on our website, on the events page. You can see also the past events, upcoming events. And if you would like to put your takeaway, that would be great. If there are any final questions, please. Eugene, go ahead.
I would like to throw our hat in the ring and mention also that we collaborate with projects outside of our platform on tasks such as training custom models, what Jan mentioned before. We also do that. So if you have any need for this, let's have a chat.
Cool. Thank you.
This is also an example of where we collaborate, because everyone is specialized in something which is quite deep in itself. And as soon as you start looking at something, then you will learn that it's quite big and complicated. So everything to do with AI and image analysis, we always refer to Animal Detect. And because we've got our hands full on the platform services, so that makes the two of us stronger, because we can focus and dedicate.
Great. Well, thank you all very much. Thank you, Eugene and Jan Kees, for your demonstrations, participants for all your questions. It's been really great to see you. We look forward to see you again soon. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. Sam raised his hands, but maybe it was to put up a...
I meant to clap.
Okay. Okay.
I'll do that now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. All right. Have a great day, and great to see you all. See you later.